In Red Dead Redemption, you play as John Marston, a former outlaw who is taken away from his family by the Bureau of Investigation to track down the remaining members of his old gang and hand them to the government, dead or alive. The game starts off in the fictional state of New Austin, where Marston is supposed to find Bill Williamson, the first man on Marston's list. When Bill points a rifle at him, Marston leaves his old life as merciless killer and robber behind him and tries talking good to his old fellow. Marston immediately regrets that after being shot at. When Marston wakes up in a comfortable bed in the shack, he meets Bonnie McFarlane, who saved John's life and has taken care of him since he found him at the crime scene. Along with her father, Bonnie runs the nearby ranch. She suggests Marston to go to the marshal down in Armadillo, who might be able to help Marston find his old friends. Along his way, Marston meets many strange people and lets the player experience the Wild West like he never did before. I'm Milo, aka actingLikeGod, and welcome to Why It's Great. Red Dead Redemption is written by Dan Houser, who's known for many other Rockstar games. It's a third-person, Wild West shooter with an open world, many interesting characters, unforgiving deserts, wild animals, and heartless gangsters. You're put into the world of Red Dead Redemption with nothing more than your cool outfit, which you'll be able to change throughout the game, your awesome hat, and your revolver. While riding from A to B with another person, Marston and them will almost always have a conversation where you either find out more about Marston or his companion.
There have to be rules, Marston. Even you must understand that.
It's easy to make up rules, but they ain't much use if people don't understand why. Like my son, if I tell him not to do something, he'll do it anyway, just to spite me. If I punish him, he resents me for it. But if I show him why it's wrong, at least he has reason not to do it again.
That's nonsense.
Talking about riding from A to B, the world of Red Dead Redemption is full of transport possibilities. You can steal a stagecoach, which will come with lots of honor, more to that soon. You can rent a stagecoach, use the train, or tame a horse and ride with that. Which brings me to another point. In the game there are various breeds of horses, some are faster than others, some have more stamina, and some are just prettier, and who doesn't want a fabulous horse under his butt? As mentioned before, when committing crime you will lose honor. When losing honor, your title will change. For example, when you have full honor, you will be called Honest Joe, which brings the perk of getting paid twice as much for every job you do. When you have no honor, you will be called Desperado, which brings the perk that no citizen will report your crimes anymore, because of fear of the Desperado. You can gain honor by collecting bounties, clear out gang hideouts, and helping strangers that will be robbed or even try to be murdered in random encounters. John Marston is spoken by Rob Weethoff, who actually did a pretty neat job. Rob's voice is very dirty and croaky, which fits the atmosphere of the Wild West very good. All in one, I never actually noticed a bad voice acting on any of the characters in the game. When it comes to the map of New Austin, West Elizabeth, and Nuevo Paraíso, you will notice the typical usage of barriers like in other games by Rockstar. For example, you can't enter Mexico's Nuevo Paraíso until you are told to. Luckily, it shouldn't bother you because in the deserts and the towns of New Austin there's enough to do for the player, so you shouldn't try getting to other sections of the map except you're an annoying scrotum like me and do literally anything you're not supposed to do until you did everything there is and you can finally continue with the story. But that, people, takes a very long time. You can go to the cinema, go hunting, sell stuff in shops, play poker, you can tame horses, collect flowers, and much more. The map is huge, the things you can do endless, and before I wander again, let's get to the next point, the graphic. The graphic is typical for Rockstar, as realistic as possible. Well, since this game only came out on Xbox 360 and PS3, the graphics are corresponding, but the developers plainly did the best they could, and apart from the 2D graphics you'll encounter from time to time, the game looks very decent. Now the soundtrack, which I really like. The game's soundtrack consists mainly out of trumpets, nylon guitars and flutes. In the beginning of the game, the composers Bill Elm and Woody Jackson used the piano to accompany accordions and ocarinas. The soundtrack is much inspired by the soundtrack of the one in For a Fistful Dollars, says music supervisor Ivan Pavlovich. Man, names, man. And that, people, is why Red Dead Redemption is great. I really suggest you to play the game if you haven't already, because there's something for everyone in it. It's intense from the beginning to the ending, which is pretty much the meanest ending in video game history, and full of thrilling action sequences, which include a whole damn civil war. Okay, I think there's nothing more to say now. If you enjoyed my review, point your thumb to the sky and tell me, what game, film, TV show, musician, artist, or whatever should be next. Thanks for watching, and I hope we'll meet again soon. Goodbye.